So, continuing this conversation, you have to understand and work upon the fact that your words will literally shape your life, right? So, to register this concept, let's divide this into four essential parts. Let's understand power of words in general. Then let's look at power of words when it comes to relationships. Then let's look at power of words when it comes to the self-talk that we have. And finally, there is a very important element of the energy of words. Let's go there. Okay. Now, to begin with, say, imagine this. When you were just born, you hardly had any words. You used to gesture, you used to cry. Your parents would understand, but as we started growing up, we started consuming stories and books and medias. We were taught alphabet, and then from there we started looking at words and sentences. And as each of that came to us, the ability and the intelligence to understand this world came about, right? And therein lies the secret and the power of words. Our brain uses words, labels, instructions, etc. as the software that is running in it. And with that basic ability of storing words, storing messages, storing instructions, storing labels, then our brain performs complex actions and works with it to think, manipulate thought, imagine, make decisions, and so many such things that we do in our life. And then it gives us abilities like problem solving, and then mastering subjects, getting the qualifications that we do, doing the work that we do, the intelligence that we have. So you understand this. So the first part, what we need to understand, that words shape our life, is literally the ability of words to define this world for us in our mind, in terms of labels, in terms of instructions, in terms of linkages of various things, and then perform complex tasks on it. Now you'll wonder, if I'm learning mathematics, how are words? Why not? Numbers, aren't the labels words? When you talk about formulas, when you talk about principles, all of those are. So whether it is mathematics, or it's chemistry, or it's physics, or it's history or philosophy, or you take any subject for that matter of fact, respect the fact that those words, those unique words, are really actually helping you learn, master, and work with those subjects. So for anyone in any domain of life, no matter what you're doing, what role you're playing, words are very, very powerful. And if you don't have those words, what will happen is you'll find yourself saying, I'm trying hard, but I can't describe it, or, that's not what I meant to say, or I don't think I'm able to communicate what I'm thinking about, or my mind is working faster than I can tell you, and so on and so forth. When we catch ourselves saying these kind of things, that's when we need to know that the richness of the words, the richness of the language, the richness of the constructs of the language, like sentence formation, storytelling, various kinds of constructs like writing, and in today's digital times, blogs, articles, videos, doing these kind of things, that's limited for us. When we find that as a problem, we need to understand, we need to work on our words, the richness of our language, the richness of our expression. We cannot have a rich expression if we don't have the richness of our language. Now, richness of language doesn't mean that you need to have complicated language. You may be speaking simple words, but you have the appropriate words to address every single thing that you want to talk about. So that's the first thing that you need to engrave within yourselves. Does that make sense, right? So when it comes to language, when it comes to words and words defining our destiny, the language that we have is what is the source of everything that we do, the intelligence, the connection that we have with the world, etc. So if you have a problem there, work on that. Get your language to be appropriate, to be rich, to be deep, whatever 2, 3, 4 languages. On an average, if a human being speaks and is proficient with about 3 to 4 languages, you can get through with most of the kind of things that you would like to do. But if you're someone who, let's say, is a diplomat or is a business person working across the globe, maybe you will need to understand a few more languages and work with that. So choose your context, choose your language, choose your languages, but go deep in every language that you have so that you have that hold and the mastery. When the time comes, you are able to express yourself. The second thing, words are also our destiny, or words also shape our destiny when it comes to relationships. right? When you connect with somebody, when you want to express yourself, when you want to understand the other person, when you want to connect to their thoughts, when you want to help them connect to your thoughts, when you want to feel their emotions, or you want them to feel your emotions, or you want to exchange ideas, or you want to build concept, build a life together. And it depends where you're working. So with your colleagues, you want to build work, build success. With your family members, with the loved ones, you want to build a life together. With the society, you want to build ideas, have fun. Or if you're out there in the media, you want to express yourself. Many times in our careers, we have to also develop our influencing skills. All of this, again, the fundamental way you connect with others are either through your communicated language or through your non-verbals. More about the non-verbal communication at another point in time, but that part of us where we use a language or we communicate, again, words come into play. So every time we speak, every time we express something, if your construct is positive, you have that much higher a chance to connect and build and strengthen the relationship. Like, let's take a very simple example. You say, oh, I don't think you're able to understand me. Instead of that, if you were to phrase it a lot more positively, saying, maybe I need to try and explain this slightly differently to you, or maybe I'm not able to come across in the right sense to you, or instead of blaming someone and saying you always get this wrong, or you always create this problem, try and putting it positively to them by saying that maybe we need to find another way of doing this. I think there is something that we are missing out, which we need to get right so that we can make progress on this. Or if you're talking about somebody's attributes or habits, instead of blatantly terming them wrong or saying that they are lazy or they are incapable, you could say it in a lot very different way, saying that, look, I think we need to give it a little bit more time, or we need to put a little bit more energy into this, or whatever is the subject at hand requires a little bit more participation from both of us. So that's where the choice of words needs to be very different. So two key messages when it comes to relationships and working with other. One, choose positive words to address the subject that you are addressing. And two, bring the inclusivity of me and you, us, that sense, the we sense. When you put the appropriate positive word in the sense of being together in it, there is highly likely a chance that you will work better at the relationship. Obviously, yes, like I said, the non-verbals have to match. And there is also the third part, that you have to do the work that goes along with it. So the language, the expressions, and the work that needs to go with it matters. But here, since we're talking about words, understand again that the power of words will impact the relationships that you have, whether it is at work, whether it's in your family, or with it's in the society with your friends, or in general if you're connecting with people out there in society. So work on language again. And the first part will again help you. If you have richness of language, it will be easy for you to choose positive expressions, positive phrases, positive messaging that you need. Now let's come to the third part. And this is where it gets very, very important, because our words are also the play in our mind. Like when I began, I said our brain thinks in terms of labels and words and instructions, and then it forms connections. And then there are these processes that we have, like the thinking processes, problem solving processes, where our brain allows us to connect with the world, express and do things, right? But deep down on the inside, we have self-talk. We talk to ourselves. We all do, right? Now, what are some of the simplest things that we do? Oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I can. Oh, I can't. I don't know. So there are so many of these things that we say. So a good number of things that we talk to ourselves may be positive, but there's a good amount of negative thoughts that float around, good amount of negative self-talk that we do. Like today, many people post things on social media. If they don't get a like, they start wondering, oh, am I even saying the right things? Or am I saying it the right way? Am I not likable? And in one-to-one interaction, the same thing translates to, am I looking good? And all of those things that you start saying. And then there is that anxiety, the worry, the fear that's lurking in much of this negative self-talk. So if you say good things, positive things to yourself, like I can do it, I know how to do this, I will pick up the threads on this, I will succeed, I will work hard, wonderful. But if you're doing negative talk, like let's take a small example, say I can't. So the thing that you need to ask yourselves is it that you don't really have the capability? Because Can't is a word that associates itself with ability. So ask yourselves, do you really don't have the ability to do that, or have you just not learned how to do it? So instead of saying I can't, maybe the statement that you need to make is I need to learn how to do this. Instead of saying I don't know, maybe you should say I need to find out how to do XYZ, or I need to find what are the ways of doing this. So do that. Or instead of saying I am not good enough, saying you need to understand that I am where I am. I need to get better at so and so things. Or by saying I always mess up, or I always make mistakes, you have to say that, look, I think I am not being careful enough with what I need to do, and here are the 5 things that I possibly need to do. So that reframing becomes very, very important. Now, at times in our life, we may be in that process where our negative self-talk is so much that we are not able to figure out how to positively frame this. So you may need help. You may need the help of self-help books, or a guide, or a coach, or maybe counseling, maybe therapy, maybe a spiritual guide or a mentor or somebody who can help us with that. But that fixing will help fix the software in our mind with which you're working. Remember, so if there is negative software running, what will it do? It'll cause negative emotions. Negative emotions means more negative self-talk, and that infinite cycle makes us do negative behavior. Like in life, there are times that you have challenges, you'll lose a job, or you have a financial difficulty, or there's a relationship difficulty. Suddenly, if that negative talk is so much, you will come across as a victim. You'll come across as not being able to handle that situation, not confident, needy, attention seeking, and all of that negative behavior that we have seen people exhibit, or we have seen ourselves exhibit, is coming from all that negative self-talk that is sitting there. So correct that negative self-talk, correct the behavior. So again, words will dictate our destiny, our success in life. So that's the third critical thing that we need to remember. Now, let's come to the fourth one, and this is by far possibly the most impactful ones. Words have energy. Like if you hear a happy word, like imagine you're sitting in a restaurant and suddenly there is a bunch of friends, they start screaming, yeah! How will you feel? You'll feel that they're celebrating, and you possibly maybe start smiling. You may join in that little yay, or if somebody starts singing happy birthday to you, or imagine you're sitting in this restaurant, suddenly they all say, oh, we won, and you get very curious. So that's the energy of the words that is getting conveyed. Obviously there's that expression along with that, but that energy is coming through. So words carry energy. So words can carry positive energy, words can carry negative energy. And some of that aspect of the positive, negative words I have just covered in the last 2 elements which I covered, which is positive words can convey positive things in a relationship, and negative words can cover negative things in a relationship. Similarly, with your own self-talk, positive words versus negative words I just covered. However, understand this. We also in life do things like criticize. We do judgments. We have jealousy, anger. And much of that is not just the choice of words, but the energy that is contained in it. Something that you say, like people will in anger say, I'll never forgive you, or I will never allow you to do this thing. Or, you want to criticize somebody or show them down and say, you will never succeed in life. You are good for nothing. Never. Don't do all of these things. Because it's not just the words that the other person is receiving, but somewhere the energy of your words is going and registering in their cellular memory. But that cellular memory is also somewhat getting created for you, because when you do something over and over and over again, like judgment or criticism or cursing someone or passing negative comments, your body also is going to absorb that negative energy and become more and more negative. So if you're a judgmental person and you continue doing that and you don't check it, somebody doesn't allow you to help you check it, you're going to become more judgmental. If you criticize, you become more critical. And that cycle is going to be a propagating negative spiral. You'll keep going down in that cycle. So watch your words there also, because no matter how much of positive words that you use or positive self-talk you use, if your fundamental feeling on the inside is that of being an egoistic or an egotistical, egocentrical person, or if you are a judgmental person, a very critical person, if you're someone who has a lot of jealousy, a lot of greed, a lot of sorrow, a lot of anger, and when you project it onto the world, remember the ripple, you've seen the stone fall into the water and make a ripple. So the first ripple touches the stone itself. So when you send out that negative energy, it's first going to touch you, and then it's going to touch the world around you. But when it touches you, it is not going to go away. it's going to get stored in your body. And if you do a lot of it, you will have more and more of it. So the more negative energy that you portray through your words, the worse your condition is going to start getting. Like, here's another thing that happens when problems happen. People start saying, why me? Why me? What am I being punished for? And there's a lot of anger and sorrow in that. Understand, you're already in the problem. And if you're going to say statements like this, then it's only going to get worse. Which is where many times mentors, spiritual gurus, our teachers, they'll say that, whether it's good times or bad times, you should always pray. Because prayer is fundamentally positive. Now, prayer is not about being greedy and telling God, I want this, I want that. No, prayer is about being grateful. Or, like a lot of people today say, practice a gratitude, practice a sense of gratitude, or practice keeping a gratitude journal. Why? Because that's creating that positive energy in the words that you're using. So that's the understanding that you need to carry. Hope this explanation stays with you and you do something with it. That number one, work on the richness of your language, because that's going to dictate how you are, how expressive you are, how communicative you are. Your positive words in the relationship are going to matter. Positive self-talk is going to matter. But very importantly, the energy of your words, both inside and outside you, needs to be very clean. Don't fake positive words. You need to have genuine positive energy. So get rid of any egocentrical, egomaniacal characteristics of yours. Get rid of judgment, criticism, jealousy, anger, sorrow, attachment. Get rid of these feelings, because those will get attached to your words and get conveyed. Even if they are positive words, they will not come across as positive. So that's the way to use the power of words to influence your destiny in a positive aspect. Yes, you have to do the work that you have to do in life, but watch your language.